Not until a headstone shows you've had enough. Don't let up your fighting till the white flags are flying. This is your last regret. We're gonna break these chains and make it next. Believe me when I say I'm not sorry. This is your last regret. We're gonna break
Man, if it was up to me, I'd play music all night and wouldn't even talk about pro wrestling. I'd love to play music all night and just forget about this show. This show sucks. There's absolutely nobody out there that enjoys this show. Nobody. If you do, you're bullshitting your entire audience. Show completely feels like it's still being run by Bruce Pritchard. Nothing about it, not even close to change. But there is a glimmer of hope here. There is a glimmer of hope. We may have 3 NXT call-ups by the time we're all finished with Heatwave. We're going to talk about those 3 names tonight. They're 3 names that excite me very much. Tony D'Angelo and Santos Escobar, they had a sit-down. One final sit-down that will end this family drama. And I thought it was great. And we're going to talk all the great matches that NXT has put together for next week with Heatwave. It's actually shaping up to be a pretty decent show. And we're going to get into that tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll go into the venue. It's going to be a slow evening. It's not going to be as jam-packed as it was last night. Which is a good thing for the bartenders, man. You don't want to overwork them. They may not want to come back to work anymore. You savage fucking animals. But I got my cold beverage. And I hope you guys are doing the same. What the fuck are you guys drinking? I'll see you over there.
Is AEW successful? Why is Tony Khan running his promotion better than Vince McMahon and Bruce Pritchard are running Monday night and Friday night? Long-term booking.
What is going on, guys? Thank you so very much for joining me right here on Off the Script. This is your NXT 2.0 post show for August 9th, 2022. I am your host, JD from New York, as always, coming to you from the OTS Beer Garden. Thank you guys so very much for joining me on your Tuesday evenings, wherever you may be. I'm happy to tell you guys that the intro is going to change. No longer will Vince McMahon and Bruce Pritchard be mentioned in the intro. It is now outdated. And I will be getting that fixed hopefully within the week. So we'll come up with something that fits into the long-term booking narrative that we love so dearly on the intro to the podcast. NXT tonight, man. Nothing. Absolutely nothing of importance on tonight's show. It was a very dull go-home show for what they're doing next week at Heatwave. The old ECW pay-per-view, Heatwave. NXT has now branded it as its own. Quite the loaded show. Next week is Heatwave. And it looks like we may be getting some movement from NXT to the main roster. There was one big thing, actually two big things that happened on tonight's show. One of them was a little bit more weird to me. But the one thing that I'm excited about is the fact that Tony D'Angelo and Santos Escobar is now a loser leaves NXT match. It's only a one-sided loser leaves NXT match, but it's still a loser leaves NXT stipulation. Tony D'Angelo and Santos Escobar had a sit-down tonight, and they came to an agreement that all of this needs to end. Tony D'Angelo and Santos Escobar will wrestle next week at Heatwave, and if Santos Escobar loses, he's gone. If Santos Escobar loses, he is finished with NXT, and Legado del Fantasma is free from NXT 2.0. Now, if Tony D'Angelo wins, obviously, he is going to Monday Night Raw or SmackDown. He's not leaving WWE. But Santos Escobar, if he wins, Legado is free of the D'Angelo family. If Santos loses, he's gone. I don't know what that means for the rest of Legado. Is all of Legado gone? Is Cruz del Toro and Joaquin Wilde, are they gone as well? I don't think so. That's not the way it sounded to me. But it looks like we're getting Santos Escobar possibly joining the main roster. And I think it's about time. I think it's about time he makes his way either to Raw or SmackDown, preferably SmackDown, as they need a little bit more depth as far as roster is concerned. I think this is a beautiful thing. 4 weeks ago, I'm saying, no. Santos Escobar isn't going anywhere. I don't want him going anywhere. I don't want Santos Escobar in the hands of Vince McMahon and Bruce Pritchard. It would be Angel Garza and Humberto Carrillo all over again. We don't want that. We didn't want that. We didn't want anything to do with that. Now, with Triple H in charge, now we have Santos Escobar making the move to the main roster potentially, and he's going to be welcomed with open arms, and we know he's going to be taken care of. And that is a beautiful thing. Santos Escobar is no spring chicken. Santos Escobar is 37, 38 years old. Santos Escobar is money. Money. There's no fucking way that you move that man to the main roster and he does not deliver on everything that he does. He's easily one of the best things about this show. Easily. So him moving to the main roster is absolutely a beautiful, beautiful thing. It's been a long time coming. I wish Legado del Fantasma was moving to the main roster with them or with him. Maybe they are. We don't know yet. I think a feud with the Mysterios would be fantastic. Santos versus Rey Mysterio and everything that Legado really stood for, and they wanted to change the image of Luchador to what they thought it was. That would be great. Santos taking down the king of the luchadors in WWE, I think that sells itself. Honestly, this should have been done a long time ago, but I'm glad we're talking about it now and we're a little bit more comfortable with it happening, meaning the move of Santos to the main roster. So that's a potential right there. And I do not see Santos going over Tony D'Angelo. Tony D'Angelo is settling into this role where he's being called upon. And I don't know how many of you guys watch this shit. Tony D'Angelo is settling into a role where he is single-handedly sending everybody that is of the old guard to the main roster, out of NXT. He did it with Ciampa. He did it with Pete Dunne. And now he's going to do it with Santos. This is not a coincidence that Tony D'Angelo was looking at a loser leaves town match here with Santos, and he could potentially be packing Santos's bag to the main roster. And I like that role for him. I do. It really fits into the whole Don of the NXT role for him. There's only one, and that's Tony D over here. And after he beats Santos, he's going to sit down with a little chicken parmesan. He's going to sit down with a nice glass of red wine, smoke a cigar, and he's going to call it a day. I think that's great. The other two, there were two other people on tonight's show that I really thought, along with Santos, could be making the move to the main roster. And that is Mandy Rose and Carmelo Hayes. Now, a lot of people were watching Monday Night Raw last night, and we saw NXT associated with the women's tag team title tournament. Nikitta Lyons and Zoey Stark, I would say, desired pairing of the two. I guess Nikitta is desired by a lot, but you guys know what I mean. The very weird pairing of Nikitta Lyons and Zoey Stark on the main roster for this tournament only. That doesn't mean Zoey Stark is getting called up or Nikitta Lyons is getting called up. I've seen some people getting excited about Nikitta potentially getting called up. She is not anywhere near getting called up to the main roster. Especially not after what I saw tonight. Green as grass. Everybody was like, well, why are they in the tournament? And how come Toxic Attraction is not in the tournament? Didn't really make sense. Maybe they want to move Toxic Attraction all to the main roster together. But Mandy Rose, it feels like, to me, I sense that Mandy Rose's days on NXT are over. I really feel like Mandy's dropping that title to Zoey Stark. I really do think that Zoey is looked at by management in NXT. They love her. Whatever the reason is, they love her. I don't know why, but they do. I don't really see what's so special about Zoey Stark. I mean, she's not bad in the ring. Other than that, I don't really see what there is to love. What is so great about Zoey Stark that NXT management is just all over her? As soon as she got there, she was being pushed against all the top names back during the pandemic when they were wrestling in front of nobody. And now she got back from injury, and they're doing the same thing all over again. Picking the pieces right where they were left with Zoey Stark. I just don't see it. But I do think Zoey Stark is winning that title next week. It is going to happen, in my honest opinion. Mandy Rose gets called up to the main roster. I don't know what that means for the rest of Toxic Attraction. There was a vignette tonight with Gigi Dolan drinking a Jack and Coke and playing pool inside of a dive bar. And JC Jane going to shop for vinyl records, saying that she loves rock and roll. She loves old school classic rock and roll, my type of woman. And they're talking about Toxic Attraction being beautiful and that live on the edge dangerous lifestyle. It was JC Jane and Gigi Dolan only. It wasn't Mandy Rose. It wasn't Mandy Rose at all. Normally they're doing the whole thing all together, all three of them. But Mandy wasn't a part of this vignette. It was only JC Jane and Gigi Dolan, which leads me to believe that Mandy Rose may be making the move to the main roster on her own. Toxic Attraction may be still an NXT act. I don't know what that means if Mandy Rose makes the move to the main roster. Who leads Toxic Attraction? Does one of them lead Toxic Attraction? And they get somebody else to join the ranks? I don't know. Cora Jade could be the next member of Toxic Attraction. She's got the look. She's got the vibe to her, right? Rock and roll and living on the dangerous side of things. Maybe we get Cora Jade leading Toxic Attraction. That thought went through my head. But I do think she's a little too young to be running a faction and taking over for Mandy Rose. So I don't know where that's going to go. But I think Mandy Rose's days are finished in NXT. There's nothing more for her to do there. So I think she drops the title to Zoey Stark next week. The other name is Carmelo Hayes. Carmelo Hayes is more than ready for the main roster. In-ring wise, he's more than ready. I think he makes the move after Heat Wave. They put him in a match with somebody who arguably is better than him in every way, and that is Fabian Aichner. Now, Giovanni Vinci. Giovanni Vinci is a world-class professional wrestler. I honestly think that Carmelo Hayes is going to drop that North American Championship next week, and I think Carmelo Hayes gets moved to the main roster. I just sense he is about to get that call from Triple H. I don't know what it is. I just sense he's about to get that call from Triple H. He's more than ready. You put him on SmackDown and you let him go and you put him in that secondary title picture, putting him up against Shinsuke Nakamura and Ricochet and guys like that, start building the Intercontinental title scene. That's what you need to do. I think he would fit in perfectly on the blue brand. He's got that whole rock star LA Hollywood vibe to him. So I think he goes to Friday Night SmackDown. I think Mandy Rose goes to Friday Night SmackDown. And I think at the end of all of this, we're looking at Santos Escobar going to SmackDown. Triple H knows and understands and realizes that there's not really much he can do without bolstering the roster on Friday night. You can't be moving people over from Raw to SmackDown and making SmackDown their new home so early. You need the draft or a shakeup to have that happen. I honestly think Triple H right now is going to start bolstering SmackDown through NXT with those that are ready to make the jump. All three of the names that I gave you are ready to make the jump to the main roster. There's absolutely no hesitation in anybody about making those choices. Those are three solid choices. Mandy Rose, Carmelo Hayes, and who was Santos Escobar. Those are the three names. I think that is perfect for Friday night. Mandy Rose, again, I don't know what they do with Toxic Attraction. Does she leave the Toxic Attraction girls? Does she form Toxic Attraction or another extension of Toxic Attraction on the main roster? Does Cora Jade take over for Toxic Attraction? I don't know. But before we get to a draft in October, I could sense Triple H wanting to bolster SmackDown for the time being before we get there, and then evenly disperse the talent to where they need to be and really shake things up so everything feels different and we get a true reset button. But that's what I feel is happening. So we'll see what happens on NXT next week. Could be a very, very, very important night for the 2.0 brand. And it could mean that we are getting more main roster talent in the Triple H era. Solo Sikoa, I could see him making the main roster as well, but I think it may be too early for Solo Sikoa. I see some people in the chat asking about Solo Sikoa. I wouldn't mind Solo Sikoa on the main roster. But I think Solo Sikoa could use another 6 months easy on the 2.0 brand. Then you're going to start seeing guys like Von Wagner take the reins, and you're going to see a Braun Breaker take the reins. Right now, the problem is, I know a lot of people are thinking, oh, well, why don't we move Braun Breaker up to the main roster? I don't think J.D. McDonough is going to be the guy to take down Braun Breaker and really be a solid world champion and be that guy to take over for Braun Breaker and a name for Braun Breaker. No. I don't think that's the guy at all. I think J.D. McDonough really has fallen flat in the times that we've seen him. You're going to start to see a guy like Von Wagner move up the ranks. You're going to see a guy like Tony D'Angelo start moving up the ranks. He's lost the North American Championship and a Tag Team Championship. Who's to say that they don't put him against Braun Breaker and have him be the NXT champion? And send Braun Breaker back into the main roster. Could be a possibility. We don't know. But Braun Breaker, the problem with Braun Breaker is if you want to move Braun Breaker right now, there really isn't anybody to take his place. There really isn't anybody solid to take over for him. He's going to need another big-time name on the same level as him to really pass that title to so that he can move up to the main roster. And right now, they don't have that. So I don't know what they're going to do in regards to Braun Breaker. So those are the guys. Those are all the guys. You can't take everybody. I wish they would and just kill the fucking brand because the brand sucks. The show sucks. I would much rather see these guys in the hands of Triple H than anybody else. And I honestly think Triple H, he could use and value a lot in Escobar and Breaker and D'Angelo and move all these guys, Hayes, move all these guys to the main roster and really make an impact with them. Because I've always thought, I wonder how a Tony D'Angelo would do on the black and gold. I think Tony D would actually do very well on the black and gold. I do. We had characters like Tony D'Angelo on the black and gold. Just look at Velveteen Dream. He worked out all right before he got himself in fucking trouble. He was a character. He was over the top with the character. But I don't know what they're going to do as far as the brand is concerned. It really honestly still feels like it's a Bruce Pritchard production. Nothing has changed. We know Triple H is running Monday and Friday night. We know that Bruce is not doing anything as far as those two shows are concerned, but it definitely feels like it did before Triple H was given head of creative. It honestly feels like we talked about last week. It honestly feels like Bruce Pritchard is still running the show, and Triple H is giving him NXT 2.0 for the time being with Shawn Michaels now and saying, I'm going to fix the shit that you fucked up here on Monday and Friday night, and then when I get done fixing this shit, I'm going to go down to Tuesday night and fucking fix the shit that you did down there. He can't do all three at the same time. He can't. His main focus is right now for the shareholders, and the main focus for him and the company is Raw and SmackDown. They need stability on Monday and Friday. They need to know that everything is going to be okay in the era that followed Vince McMahon. So it's going to take a little bit. The trust may already be there. It's building, slowly but surely. Monday Night Raw's ratings, we're still above a 2, which is great. That is going to be a major, aspect to the Triple H era. How are the ratings going to continue week after week after week after week? If they show stability, then that's only a good thing for Triple H. Nobody gives a shit about NXT. He knows that. Nobody gives a shit about this current version of NXT. So he'll get to it when he gets to it. As long as things are right and that ship on the main roster is fucking riding smooth seas, that's all he needs to concern himself with right now. It's a little rocky on Tuesday nights, but when he gets ready to move his attention to Tuesday night, you can guarantee that NXT is going to change. It still may be 2.0. It still may be the fucking Fruity Pebbles brand. It still may be inside that fucking performance center. But it's going to change. He's probably looking to pick out the current crop of guys and just really start all over and put his fucking vision and his stamp on it when he pulls all those guys that he knows are going to make a big impact on the main roster and really just start over from scratch. But it definitely still feels like a Bruce Pritchard production. So if you guys didn't watch the show tonight, you didn't miss anything. If you did watch the show, you saw no change. And when there is change, you guys will know and you will see and you will feel Triple H changing NXT. But I do think that Carmelo Hayes, Mandy Rose, and Santos Escobar are making their way to the main roster. And I do think all three of them will make an immediate impact no matter what brand that they're on. But like I said before, SmackDown is in dire need of a roster addition or 3. And I honestly think if he bolsters SmackDown, it will bring it up to where Monday Night Raw is. Because right now, Monday Night Raw is leagues above what SmackDown is doing. Leagues. It's been like that for a little bit. SmackDown has obviously been the B show as far as, quality is concerned. Monday Night Raw, even before Triple H took over, it still sucked. But it was still the better show compared to Friday night. Friday night was just absolutely insufferable. But Triple H understands that he needs to bolster that roster and get it to where Monday Night Raw is. Because right now, Monday Night Raw is running away with the quality of show over SmackDown. And I think he understands that. And Mandy Rose and Santos Escobar and Carmelo Hayes are definitely going to fix that if they all get moved up after Heatwave. Guys, I appreciate you stopping by tonight. I know Tuesday is normally a slow night for everybody here in the venue, but I appreciate you guys stopping by and hanging out. We got 1,400 plus here. Hit that thumbs up. The minimum on Tuesday nights is $7.50. Minimum. So make sure you guys hit that thumbs up. Super chats are open. Get them on in. We'll hang out at the end of the show. I uploaded a video today, man, talking about the official firing of John Laurinaitis. We wish you well in your future endeavors. People power. Goodbye. Goodbye. Nobody wished him well in his future endeavors, man. Fuck him. John Laurinaitis is officially fired. Sasha Banks coming back to the WWE. When did Sasha and Naomi agree to come back? Dave Meltzer seems to believe that Dwayne The Rock Johnson and Roman Reigns will headline WrestleMania 39. And we talked about the plans moving forward for Karrion Kross on Friday Night SmackDown. What is the latest on his involvement at Clash at the Castle? All that on today's Extra. Go and check that out. We were live from Monday Night Raw last night. Go check that out. Excellent review last night if you missed it. Dexter Lumis returned. Speaking of NXT, Dexter Lumis has returned. Gonna be a good deal with Dexter Lumis on the main roster. All that stuff is on the homepage. Go and check it out. Follow me on social media at JDfromNY206. That's Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Cameo. And tonight's show is sponsored by Blue Chew. BlueChew.com. Code JD at checkout for your free sample. All you guys have to do is pay the $5 shipping and handling. That's BlueChew.com. Code JD at checkout. NXT. Going to start at the top here. NXT started off with Nikitta Lyons against Kiana James. Nikitta Lyons did not look good in this match, in my honest and personal opinion. She did not look good here. This is obviously a damper on what she and Zoey Stark are going to be a part of with the Women's Tag Team Championship Tournament. I think the Women's Tag Team Title Tournament is a little rushed. I honestly think that the tag team titles, and I keep saying this and I will keep saying this because I just can't fucking stand that we have tag team titles in the women's division on both shows. They're not needed. The women's tag team titles are not needed. Nobody needs women's tag team championships. They're not needed on Monday night or Friday night. Nikitta Lyons and Zoey Stark are teaming up in the tournament. They're going up against Natalya and Sonya Deville. And she wrestled Kiana James here because Kiana James, a newcomer on NXT. Who? Yeah, I know. Kiana James, a newcomer on NXT, apparently doesn't like what Nikitta Lyons represents, and she thinks that Nikitta Lyons is deplorable to all women out there. Meanwhile, she is classy and educated. Pretty much what we got going on here. So, Lyons is in there with James. James cuts off Lyons. She targets the knee because Nikitta Lyons just came back from injury, and the knee was the issue. James works the leg. Lyons attempted to sell the leg. Lyons comes back. Lyons charges into a corner with Kiana James there. Flying attack. It looked like she went for a rolling senton sort of maneuver. She missed all of it. That kept going, though, leading to a trading of near falls here between the two. And this was near the ropes. Kiana James tried to hold the ropes and get a leverage pin. Referee saw her, stopped the count. Lyons with a roundhouse spin kick. Now, I don't know what her finisher is. What is her finisher? Is her finisher the roundhouse spin kick, or is her finisher that ridiculous fucking split leg drop that she does? Or is that just a fancy way of pinning somebody after her finishing move? I don't know. So she did the spinning roundhouse kick, and she does that leaping split leg drop, and she gets the 1, 2, 3, and that was it. James, after the match was over, attacked Nikitta Lyons with her briefcase or her over-the-shoulder pocketbook, whatever she was carrying to the ring. She hit Nikitta Lyons in the back, and she started yelling profanities at Nikitta Lyons as the match came to an end. So Kiana James loses and shows everybody, shows the world that she is a sore loser. Now, I think Kiana James actually is kind of growing on me. It's Kiana James and Tiffany Stratton that I am really paying attention to as far as the names that people really aren't paying close enough attention to. I think Tiffany Stratton is really coming along. The gimmick may be a little cheesy and the gimmick may be a little cringe, but I honestly feel that she is well ahead of where she needs to be. Kiana James, I feel that it could be the same thing for her. And I feel like she's going to advance quicker, just like a Tiffany Stratton did. You give her 6 months to a year, and I think we're going to see a very different Kiana James. And I'm not really all that down on the gimmick either. I think the gimmick is pretty simple. You know, she is a very pretty woman, educated, and she is classy. Kind of businesswoman, you know, businesswoman-esque, school teacher-esque, I guess. You know, but this is Bruce Pritchard. I'm not really surprised Bruce Pritchard came up with this fucking shit. Why is she on TV? She's got the sexy school teacher down to a T. That's why Bruce Pritchard and John Laurinaitis wanted her on TV. I don't really mind the gimmick as long as she plays into the character. And it isn't as overly egregious as what they probably intended it to be. But I think she's got a lot of upside. Nikitta Lyons was off tonight. I know you guys are big Nikitta Lyons fans, but she was off. Your girl was off tonight. Green as grass. Even though I am still predicting them to go to the finals, I'm predicting Zoey Stark and Nikitta Lyons to go to the finals of the tournament and then ultimately fall against Bailey's girls in Io Sky and Dakota Kai. And after tonight, it certainly feels like they are going to get a lot of attention in the women's tournament. This is why I also feel like Zoey Stark is going to beat Mandy Rose next week, because this pairing of Nikitta Lyons and Zoey Stark are really being buddy-buddy. They're training and they're getting ready for the women's tag team title tournament, and Zoey Stark is about to beat Mandy Rose for the women's championship. This is what I said. I feel like Nikitta Lyons is going to be a women's champion in NXT sooner rather than later. Zoey Stark does not need NXT for as long as Nikitta Lyons does. I think when Zoey Stark wins the title, I think we see Zoey Stark and Nikitta Lyons and that friendship kind of drifting away. And I feel like they're going to battle over the women's championship. And that's where Nikitta Lyons, hopefully she gets it by then, wins the women's championship, and then Zoey Stark could be moved to the main roster. Because at that point, there will be nothing else left for her to do. She's won a tag team title with Io. Then she's going to win the women's championship. What else is there for her to do? Instead of being the veteran on the roster and drop it to the youngster in Nikitta Lyons. So I could see all of this kind of being intertwined. After tonight, it's a little bit more clearer why they were chosen to be in the women's tag team title tournament. And I do think that they're going to the finals, and I do think they'll have a good showcase, and I do think that they will lose. That's just my prediction. Moving on, Apollo Crews was backstage. He's looking good on NXT. Apollo Crews is backstage with the Creed brothers. They're watching the Creeds match from last week. Roderick Strong enters the room. Creeds are upset with him for no showing their match last week. But Strong insists he never intended on showing up. Instead, he says, I didn't show up because it was a test. It was a test. The Creeds won the match, so Strong says that they passed the test. Creeds are not buying Roddy's excuse. Crews, who's sitting there teaching the Creeds because Roddy is too busy doing whatever he's got to do, too busy not wanting to be part of this god-awful brand, Crews agrees Roddy is being very shady with his boys. Crews says Roddy's, doing nothing but bickering, and this leads to both of them getting into an argument, and then Roddy challenging Crews to a singles match later on tonight on NXT. Which I have no problem with. They're two veterans, so more than likely it would have been a banger anyway. A banger that doesn't really mean much of anything, but a banger nonetheless. Lash. I'm sorry. I got this problem with my allergies, man. I'm sorry. Trash Legend. Trash Legend was on this show 3 times tonight. That's more times than I'd really care to see Trash Legend in a single fucking calendar year. Never mind one show. Trash Legend. She's back there with Malik Blade, and she's talking his ear off about God knows what. I don't know what the fuck she's bickering about. Inofe then comes in. Legend then all of a sudden changes the way she speaks, and suddenly she starts to take a liking to Inofe. So somehow this all leads to a match involving Pretty Deadly at the end of the show. I mean, do you care? Do you really care? Trash Legend, 3 times tonight. Trash Legend doing the eyelashes. Oh my God, get her off. Get her out. Get her out. How this woman is still employed, but Parker Boudreaux was fired. How this woman still has a job, but you fired Dakota Kai before you brought her back. And Dexter Loomis before you brought her back. I don't get it. Get her out. We got Wes Lee and Trick Williams. Trick Williams was out there with Carmelo Hayes. This was what they were calling a rounds match. What the fuck is a rounds match, JD? I wish I didn't have to tell you because this was fucking terrible. There's 6 3-minute rounds, 20-second breaks in between rounds. Falls can be won by pinfalls, submissions, or countout. Once a fall occurs, the round ends. First to win 2 falls is declared the winner. If someone gets a KO or a DQ, it automatically ends the match. So these guys start the round with round 1 in boxing gloves. And I'm asking myself, here I am thinking that this was a fucking wrestling match. I thought this was a wrestling match. The fuck are we doing with boxing gloves on, recreating Brawl for All? And you still have geeks out there thinking that Shawn Michaels is running the show. Do you honestly think the shareholders give a fuck about NXT? They don't give a single fuck. They don't even know it exists. They don't even know how to spell NXT. They don't care. You still have geeks out there that are thinking still that Shawn Michaels is running NXT. This is why I said now for 2 weeks that this show is Bruce Pritchard. It felt like Bruce Pritchard. Bruce Pritchard knows the thing about Brawl for All, right? Doesn't he? He was there. He was a part of it. He knew the fucking disgrace and embarrassment it was. Yet here we are with Trick Williams and Wes Lee in a fucking boxing match. NXT can't even do pro wrestling correct. They're going to do boxing? This shit sucks. I feel so bad for Wes Lee, man. If I'm Triple H, I'm on the phone with Nash Carter to get him back in the WWE immediately. MSK would be destined for the main roster. No doubt in my mind. Get him out. Get him out of here. Trick Williams and Wes Lee had a boxing match in the first round. Here I am thinking that they were actually going to have a fucking pro wrestling match. Correct me if I'm wrong. Doesn't NXT UK have a similar style match? Doesn't NXT UK have a similar style match? I thought we were getting a fucking pro wrestling match. These guys come out wearing boxing gloves. Williams got the better of Lee, going and just doing boxing. Lee fires back, and Williams gets in trouble a little bit. Williams is saved by the ringing of the bellies. Zach Morris. He's AC Slatered. He's Lisa Turtled. He's Kelly Kapowski'd. He's what's the other? Who am I missing? Screech. He's Screech Powers. Powered. He's Jesse Spanoed. He's Mr. Belding. You guys get the point. You guys. She's who's the teacher? Yeah, he's Miss Blissed. You guys get the point, man. I was a big Saved by the Bell guy, man. I was a real big say. What about what was her name? Tori? What was her last name? Yeah, he got Tori'd. That was a dark period for Saved by the Bell, man. That was a really dark period. Remember when half of the fucking crew left? I don't know who was it. Kelly wasn't there anymore. Jesse wasn't there anymore. It was Lisa and Tori. Oh my, yeah, like they thought they were gonna really have success by replacing Kelly Kapowski with fucking Tori. What a joke! What a Unbelievable, man. You know what? I still watched it for some fucking weird reason. I still watched it. But he went from having a love it. Zach, man, Zach is a fucking beast, man. He's such a player. Now he goes from Kelly. He even had a fling with Lisa. I think he had something with Jesse too, right? And then he goes to Tori. All the main females on the show, Zach went right for them, always. But I'll tell you what, man. I'll tell you what. You may not agree with it. You may not agree with what I'm about to tell you, man. The college years. The fact that the college years got canceled, man, that's a disgrace. The fact that the college years got canceled, I thought the college years was great. I enjoyed the college years thoroughly. All of a sudden, they got canceled. What was it, one season? Why? I watched them all, though. Zach and Kelly's wedding in Hawaii, I watched them all. Yeah, Trick Williams. Yeah, he's Saved by the Bell. Saved by the Bell. Zach Morris is trash, says Jesse. Get him out! How dare you, bro? Mark Paul Gosselaar, really, bro? The fuck is wrong with you? Anyway. Listen, man, I love the college years. I don't know what happened. Yes, Patrick Palmer. They had college years, bro. Oh, my goodness. So Trick Williams, he was saved by the bell. Nobody wins round one. We got boxing on NXT. Yeah, but Shawn Michaels is running the show, right? Yeah, Triple H is going to give Shawn Michaels the fucking freedom to run NXT 2.0 the way he wants. Yeah, let me put boxing on the fucking show. Get the fuck out of here. Really? Shawn Michaels is running the show. Yeah, let me see you pay $5 to Sap for that one. Fucking clowns. We'll go to round two. Now the gloves come off. Now we're getting wrestling. I'm like, what the fuck? So we go from boxing to wrestling. Lee charges towards Williams. Williams is on the ropes. Lee does a plancha to the outside. Hayes interferes by grabbing Lee, which allows Williams to rock Lee with a pump kick. Williams recovers. He then covers Lee for a pinfall in under a minute of round two, leaving Williams now one fall up on Wes Lee. This is still not entertaining. Even though they took the boxing gloves off, this still sucks. So we go to round three. This ended during a commercial break. Goes to show you how much we give a shit about this. Third round is mostly Williams working over Lee. No falls in this round. So they basically used round three for a commercial break. That's what they did. So we go to round four. Williams is still up 1-0. So during the rest period here, Hayes loads one of the boxing gloves up, and Trick Williams looks like a dumbass. He puts the boxing glove on, and he's wearing one boxing glove. He takes a swing at Wes Lee. Lee dodges the loaded glove. He ducks and dives out of the way, catching Williams in a crucifix. And Lee scores a 3 count off the crucifix. Now it's 1 fall apiece. So we go to round 5. And before we get to round 5, after the bell ended the round with round 4, Williams took a cheap shot and hit Lee with the loaded glove. He falls to the mat. So Lee is selling the cheap shot with the loaded glove. Lee is now in trouble. 5th round is beginning. And Lee, all of a sudden, manages to kick out of near falls because Trick Williams went right for the cover. He wanted to win this thing. Williams misses a kick. He traps his leg on the top rope. Lee took advantage. He starts beginning to mount a comeback. Lee puts on one of his boxing gloves with seconds remaining in the round. And Lee knocks Williams out with the punch. Lee then hooks a leg and pins Williams with just seconds left on the clock in the 5th round. And he wins the rounds match. Never again do I want to see anything like this on this show. Even for how bad this show is, this is a low point. This may be one of the lamest things I've seen on NXT 2.0 since the beginning. A waste of my time. I feel so terrible for Wes Lee, man. Get him the fuck off this show and bring Nash Carter back. Seriously. Bring Nash Carter back and get MSK on the main roster. It cannot be that difficult. Chase U. I'm quite enjoying Chase U. I don't know what it is, but I just have this thing about Chase U, man. I'm warming up to Andre Chase. He's playing the role very, very, very well. So, we got Thea Hale, the young rookie student of Andre Chase. And Andre Chase is talking to Santino Marella's daughter, Ariana Grace, about something she had a problem with. Apparently, she got hit with a football to the face from Thea Hale. She's there sitting at Andre Chase's desk, and she's got a black eye from the football hitting her in the face, apparently. Hale showed up and got super excited. Chase told them to settle their differences with a match tonight. Grace said she was thinking more about a lawsuit instead of a match. Andre Chase says, "Are you fucking kidding me? That's not what we at Chase U do. We settle our differences in the ring." So Ariana Grace got upset. We didn't see them wrestle tonight, thank God. But she left, and Thea Hale was jumping up and down, all excited. And Andre Chase is like, yeah, she'll do fine. And she shook his hand so hard that he fell backwards and he knocked everything off his desk. Carmelo Hayes. He was still in the ring after his boy lost to Wes Lee. He's out there talking about the North American Open Challenge last week, where he turned back on Nathan Frazier. Hayes stared at the Tron as Nathan Frazier's music played, and he came out again. So, Hayes is in the ring, and all of a sudden, we don't get Nathan Frazier, but we get Giovanni Vinci. He's in the ring. So Hayes was looking at Frazier in the aisleway, and all of a sudden, Giovanni Vinci's in the ring. Fabian Eichner's in the ring. So, he says he would like to take care of Nathan Frazier when the time is right, but in the meantime, he asks for Hayes to open up the challenge again for Heatwave next week. Hayes says they could do it at Heatwave, but he'll put him on a T-shirt. He was wearing a shirt made to look like Wes Lee crying. I guess this is his thing now. Everybody he beats, he puts on a fucking T-shirt. So the two started to brawl, and the referees broke them up, and we're getting a North American Championship match next week between Giovanni Vinci, the former Fabian Eichner, and Carmelo Hayes. That should be easily by far and away the match of the night. No doubt about it. So, we got a segment with J.D. McDonough, the fake J.D., by the way. They call him the Irish Ace. You could call me the New York Ace, okay? I may have to get that on a fucking T-shirt somewhere. The New York Ace. The Irish Ace, my ass, J.D. McDonough. What a fucking failure this guy's turning out to be, huh? Against Braun Breaker, we got a big hype segment here. Both guys sat and created sound bites in between shots of them brawling over the past few weeks. Set to some music, so they're setting the tone for this title match next week. Lash Legend was still talking to Malik Blade about her previous matches as Idris Enofe showed up and got trapped in the same situation as Malik Blade. She's just standing there talking. The mere presence of this woman annoys me. My goodness. Imagine being locked in an elevator, trapped in an elevator with fucking Lash Legend. Jesus fucking Christ. Actually, Thea, I must have walked away. I must have walked away and made a coffee or something, man. Thea Hale and Ariana Grace did wrestle tonight. I guess I walked away. I'm sorry. I didn't take notes on it. You want Ariana Grace won in 3 minutes. Like you give a fuck. Like you give a shit. Jesse, I'm going to have to dump you, bro. I'm going to have to dump you, bro. Listen, bro. I'm going to have to kindly ask you to exit the venue. You're pissing me off, okay? By the way, your tacos look like fucking shit, okay? You're lucky I didn't answer you before. I would have embarrassed you in front of Mr. Rosa, okay? Clown. Bitch. This guy thinks he's the king taco over here. That's why you don't have a fucking taco truck, bro. That's why you don't have a taco truck, man. Maybe when you get to the elite level like Thunder Rosa, then maybe I'll give you a fucking, I'll give you a taco table next to Thunder Rosa. How about that? Thea Hale and Ariana Grace. Hale took down Grace with chops, hit a corner splash, and then a second one. Basement dropkick by Thea Hale, followed by a neck breaker. She shook the ropes and reenacted the Ultimate Warrior. Hale hit a standing moonsault, kind of, for a 2 count. Hale threw a right. Referee got in between them. Grace used the open behind the referee's back to hit Wasteland, which obviously made Wade Barrett smile from ear to ear because that was his finishing move. And Ariana Grace wins in about 3 minutes. Both of them are very green. Both of them are very green. And, I don't know. I'm not really feeling either one of them. Thea Hale is way too high energy for me, which I get the role that she's trying to play in Chase U. Ariana Grace, we haven't really seen much of her. So, I think she'll be fine when she gets there because she's the daughter of Santino Marella. But neither one of these women are where they need to be. Cameron Grimes and Solo Sikoa are in the back. They're talking backstage. Sikoa tried relating to Grimes as he worked on his bad knee. Grimes gave a basic okay solo in the end and watched him walk off. So he's talking to this guy. Solo Sikoa's talking to this guy. And Cameron Grimes is like looking at him. He's all like sleepy-eyed. Okay, Solo. Okay. And walks away. So it looks like what's his name? Joe Gacy is weakening and wearing down Cameron Grimes. I wonder what that means. Cameron Grimes is a lost soul, folks. He's a lost soul. He may end up joining the former grizzled young veterans over there, Rip Fowler, and whatever the fucking other guy's name is, and Joe Gacy in the Schism, or the Dyad, whatever the fuck their names are. I don't know. Lame. Cameron Grimes could be the recipient of a call-up, too, and just keep him the same. Have him be Big Money Grimes, like he was. I don't know. They got this guy floating around like a fucking lost soul. Like this guy lost his dog. Not a good look. Apollo Crews. He went one-on-one with Roderick Strong in easily the best match of the night. Easily. Match went 15 minutes, but that's what you do when you got two veterans like Apollo Crews and Roderick Strong on the roster, and you let them go out there and wrestle. So, we got a small commercial break right at the top, and the match continued in the picture-in-picture. Very evenly were both of these guys. Strong was working over Crews for a little bit. Crews was beginning to rally back, making a babyface comeback. So we got a bunch of near falls here for Crews after doing some suplexes. Strong counters a suplex and gets Crews on the ring apron. Strong with the sidewalk slam on the ring apron. He rolls him back in the ring. Goes for a cover, gets a 2 count. So Crews is strapped in the Boston Crab. Crews powers out, catches Strong's in a power slam. Crews signals for a military press, but Strong counters the military press. Crews delivers a gutbuster, and they continue fighting. Strong leapt into the air. Crews catches him. Strong is slammed to the mat with what looked to be a modified big one-arm choke slam. And Apollo Crews wins the match over Roderick Strong, which I'm not surprised by because Roddy, you hear reports about Roddy not really wanting to be there and Roddy really being used as that veteran guy to put everybody else over. There's a reason why he doesn't like working there or not wanting to be there while everybody else is having fun. But maybe under this new administration, maybe Roderick Strong is second-guessing things. So nobody really is gauging what's going on and how Roddy's feeling. I wish somebody would really report on how Roddy's feeling about the new change in management. Because with Bruce is still running the show, let's be real. But with Triple H now in charge, I wonder how he's feeling about potentially staying there and then maybe making a move to the main roster. Because I know he was working dark matches. I'm not sure if Triple H wants him on the main roster, but it may actually work out better for him if he ends up staying. Or maybe he just wants to go to AEW and join his Undisputed Elite boys. Well, whatever the fuck they're going to call themselves now after Adam Cole betrayed the Undisputed Elite. So we'll see what happens with that. I wish somebody would report on that, though, because that's definitely a very interesting aspect of what's going on. What is Roddy thinking, and what is his mindset now with Triple H taking over? We got the meeting between Santos Escobar and Tony D'Angelo. I enjoyed this. I really enjoyed this. So, they called it the final accord. No, not like Honda Accord. The final accord. The two met outside at a table. I don't know where they were. It looked like they were somewhere in the vicinity outside Full Sail University, or outside, maybe they were at Full Sail University. I have no idea. I don't know where this was filmed, but it was obviously Orlando. Somewhere in the outskirts of the WWE Performance Center. They both came alone. No extra backup here for Tony D and Santos Escobar. Tony D said he was the boss and he dictates things. Escobar said Tony D must know by now that it wasn't going to work out. Tony D said Escobar could do all the hard work in his ivory tower with his pride, but look at where it got him. Tony went on to say he called the meeting to get Escobar's head on straight because it was still obviously up his ass. Escobar said the only reason Tony D is the Don of NXT is because he sent Ciampa packing. He said there would be one final match next week. If Tony D wins, Escobar leaves NXT. Tony D said if he wins, he also keeps Escobar's sheep. If Escobar wins, everyone is free. D'Angelo said, fine, I agree to these rules, but it needs to be conducted in a street fight. So they made the deal, and they shook hands. Tony D told Escobar to say goodbye to his legatos, and we watched these two guys step away from the table. Both of these guys really did great here in this setting and setting the table for this match. It's been a okay storyline for both of them on NXT. But like I said in the beginning, I think Santos Escobar making the jump to the main roster is obviously the move to make. There's no doubt about it. Tony D'Angelo, he's put Ciampa on the shelf. He went to the main roster. Pete Dunne, he moved to the main roster. Now Santos Escobar, Tony D is going to be the guy that sends all these guys packing to the main roster. Kind of liking that. I think that's a great move. Tiffany Stratton, she went to her dressing room. She entered. Wendy Chu was standing behind her with night vision goggles. She shut the lights off and beat Stratton with a chair and other objects in the locker room. She turned the lights on, and Tiffany Stratton was buried on the floor under debris because of this attack by Wendy Chu. Reminded me something out of Silence of the Lambs when Clarice went into the basement of Buffalo Bill's house and the lights went out and Buffalo Bill put on night vision goggles. Put the lotion in the baskets, Clarice. I never understood the appeal of Wendy Chu. Never. I don't get it. Moving on, we got the Creeds backstage with Damon Kemp. They watched film to find whatever Apollo Crews warned them about their last match last week, their 8-man tag. Roddy stormed in and demanded to know where they were during his match. They didn't show up there. Brutus said, well, it was a test. You passed. Strong said, how did I pass? I lost because you guys weren't out there. Julius got in Strong's face and says he was going to watch the film again to be sure. I didn't see what I saw, but if I'm right, I'm going to be dealing with someone real soon. I don't know what he saw, but I guess we'll find out next week. Idris and Ofe and Malik Blade. They went up against Pretty Deadly. This is Elton Prince and Kit Wilson. Pretty Deadly. they could probably benefit from a main roster call-up as well to bolster the tag team division. And Ofe and Blade, they make quick tags early, dominating, pretty deadly. Prince fought Blade off, and Wilson managed a European uppercut for 2. Prince tagged back in, so we got a double lung blower by Pretty Deadly. Then they did their roll tide taunts, posed on the outside, looking all devilish is Pretty Deadly. Behind them, all of a sudden, Josh Briggs and Brooks Jensen with Fallon Henley. The make-believe smoking guns here. They showed up, and apparently they got their feelings hurt. They stood outside, and Enofe managed a big flying elbow on Wilson for 2. This was broken up by Prince. Prince then shoved the chair into the ring, but he got laid out on the outside. Kit Wilson then tried to use the chair, and Briggs took it from him. Wilson shoved Enofe into the chair, and it also hit both of the Cowboys here. Josh Briggs and Brooks Jensen, they got nailed, and they went on to the floor on the outside. Fallon Henley went to go check on both of her guys. Lash Legend. Listen, man, I'm sorry. My allergies are kicking in. Trash Legend went to go attack Fallon Henley on the outside. Pretty Deadly wins with their tandem finishing move, which is looks like a heart attack kind of finishing move, but instead of the heart attack, it's a neck breaker. Double team neck breaker for the win. Cameron Grimes, he tried to leave the building. Someone tried to rile him up. I don't know who this guy was. It looked like a doorman. All of a sudden, Joe Gacy stops him. Cameron, where are you going? Where are you going? He's there with the dyad. Gacy asks where Grimes was going. Grimes says, I'm going home. I'm going home. Gacy said, but to who? Who are you going home to? Grimes looked at him. Gacy laughed and said nothing. He walked away. I don't know. I don't know. Video package recapped the tag team 4-way last week. Gigi Dolan and JC Jane narrated about losing and said when you lose something so big, you can either wallow or be a rebel. Jane went on to talk about her love for rock and roll. She went into a vinyl record store, talked about her love for rock and roll while picking up a copy of Led Zeppelin. Dolan went to a bar and she downed a Jack and Coke. What looked to be a Jack and Coke. I could see Gigi Dolan being a Jack and Coke gal, for sure. She's there playing pool. So they were speaking rather here about pretty much making a comeback and kind of asserting who they are and telling everybody who Toxic Attraction is. Again, I don't know if they're going to be with Mandy Rose or not next week. Because I see Mandy Rose losing to Zoey Stark. So if Mandy Rose makes the way to the main roster and JC Jane and Gigi Dolan are doing Toxic Attraction in NXT, who leads Toxic Attraction? That's what I want to know. Which leads us to Zoey Stark and Cora Jade. This was your main event of NXT 2.0 tonight. I know. Really exciting stuff here. Really exciting stuff. I can hardly wait to talk about it with you guys, man. The excitement is so infectious. So Jade and Stark, they wrestled through a small commercial break right at the top. Jade is in control, and she's working over Stark. She's obviously the heel now, so she tries to cheat. Jade retrieves what looks to be her kendo stick, which is painted in black. So she's not carrying around her skateboard anymore. She's carrying around a kendo stick that she's spray painted in black. She's wearing all black. She's got this like grunge rocker like makeup on. She's got the backwards black baseball cap. She's wearing all black. She looks good. She looks good. Like I said, maybe she does really lead Toxic Attraction. Maybe they made her up and made her look like that because she's going to take over the whole group. I don't know. So she's trying to cheat, and she went on the outside to go grab this kendo stick. Stark ducks the kendo stick, and Jade takes a German suplex from Zoey Stark, which landed her right on her head. Stark is now making a comeback, and Jade flips inside out, taking another German suplex. They trade near falls. Jade eats a super kick before going for a cover and getting a 2 count. Stark takes a hammerlock DDT from Cora Jade. She kicks out at 2.5. Stark also took a sliced bread from Cora Jade. All of a sudden, she goes back for the kendo stick, and Roxanne Perez is outside at ringside. She now took the kendo stick away from Cora Jade, so she can't use it. Jade is obviously distracted by this. Stark delivers a super kick, and she executes her modified version of the GTS where she flips her opponent and then delivers the knee to the face. Knocked out Jade for the decisive pinfall, 1, 2, 3. And that was it. While she pinned Jade, she pointed at Mandy Rose and said, "You're next, bitch." Perez confronts Jade after the match, with Perez pointing the stick at Cora Jade like Sting would his baseball bat. Jade runs away. Perez chases her up the ramp and out of the entire arena. So they disappear. Meanwhile, Mandy Rose all of a sudden tries to get the one-up on Zoey Stark, tries to jump Zoey Stark with a sneak attack. Stark dodges a belt shot. Mandy wanted to hit Zoey with the belt. She then executes her GTS, which looked like it got Mandy flush in the face. She executed a finisher on Mandy and knocked Mandy out, and she poses with the title, holding the title over her head as the show went off the air. Might be the death wish for Zoey Stark. Pro Wrestling 101 tells me, folks, if you read up on Pro Wrestling 101 says, it's one thing if the babyface gets the advantage on the go-home show before the major show in her title match, but then the lasting image you saw was Zoey Stark holding the title in the air over the champion. That doesn't bode well for Zoey Stark. We may be looking at Mandy Rose retaining the title next week if that's the case. If Pro Wrestling 101 has a say in this, I don't know. I'm still going with Zoey Stark to win the title, though. I think Zoey Stark wins the title, and Mandy Rose is on the main roster for WWE. This show sucks. It sucks, it sucks, it sucks. There's nothing exciting about this show. Nothing. Thank you guys for joining me on this NXT 2.0 post show. If you did enjoy the post show tonight, please hit that thumbs up. Got 565 likes. I said 750 is the minimum. 750 is the minimum. I know Tuesday night is not really everybody's favorite night, but I would appreciate the likes because it helps me out. Also, get those super chats in, get those memberships in, and we will hang out at the end of this sponsor ad, which comes in the form of Blue Chew. BlueChew.com. You guys are going to use that code JD at checkout for your free sample. Guys, it's time to bring the summer heat to the bedroom. Like Heat Wave next week. It's time to bring that heat wave into the bedroom. Confidence can take you guys far in life, but it also can help in the bedroom, especially when it comes time to stepping up and performing. You want to hit a home run when you step up to the plate, man. You don't want to get a bunt single. Blue Chew is a unique online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, but in chewable tablets and at a fraction of the cost. You can take them anytime, day or night. You can plan ahead, be ready whenever the opportunity arises. And the process is very simple, man. BlueChew.com. You're going to consult with one of their online medical providers. And once you are approved, you're going to receive your prescription within days. The best part, it's all done online. No visits to the doctor's office, no awkward conversations, no waiting in line at the pharmacy. And Blue Chew's tablets are made in the USA, and they are prepared and shipped direct to your door in a very discreet package. I always talk about first impressions, guys. Triple H made a great first impression on his first full-fledged night on the main roster as head of creative. And you know what? He's creating a lasting impression. That's what Blue Chew is going to do for you. Great first impression, and it's going to create a lasting impression. You guys can try Blue Chew for free, man. BlueChew.com, code JD at checkout. All you guys have to do is pay the $5 shipping and handling. That's BlueChew.com, code JD at checkout. All you have to do is pay the $5 shipping and handling, and I want to thank them for once again sponsoring the podcast right here on Off the Script. Let's start at the top, man. Robert Hall becomes a 19-month member. Thank you for the recommitment to the VIP club, Robert. I'm looking to get some new emotes, man. I want to get something to signify longer than 24 months. So I'm going to be looking for some, if anybody has any graphics artists, or if you guys are graphics artists, you hit me up, man. Email me. I'm looking for some real good emotes, man. I want to move away from the emotes that I got. We're going to keep them, but I want something a little bit more legible and visible and full. So if you know any artists out there, send them my way. Thank you, Robert Hall. I appreciate you, brother. Farewell, Santos. Say hello to 2 dimes for me. Yeah. Now, but Santos is not going to be sleeping with the fishes. He'd be sleeping with the fishes if this was Bruce Pritchard and Vince McMahon. He's not going to be sleeping with the fishes with Triple H there. I think he'll be fine. He's going to be very, very, very good. Joseph Taylor with $2 super chat. $3 super chats. JD, who would you take out on a date? Nikitta Lyons or Dakota Kai? I'm going with Nikitta Lyons. She looks like she's a fantastic date. Santos Escobar will be 39 next April. I have not watched NXT in 8 months. It's boring. Thank you, Joseph Taylor, for your insight and for your honesty. 8 months. Keep it going, bro. I'll tell you when it's safe to come back. Javier Martinez with a $1.99 super chat. Tiffany Stratton is money and more ready than Lyons. I absolutely agree, Javier Martinez. I think that is a proper statement there. I think she is more ready than Tiffany Stratton is right now. At least Tiffany Stratton, she's been there a little bit. Tiffany Stratton has been there for a little bit, worked on what she needs to work on. Nikitta Lyons needs to do the same thing, and I think before she does anything, should hold the Women's Championship when she's ready. Jordan plays. More than anyone, I want Santos on the main roster. He has potential to be incredible there. Also, what was that toxic vignette we saw tonight? I talked about it tonight, bro. I think they're done. I really do. Javier Martinez with another $1.99 super chat. Thoughts on AEW possibly doing 2-night pay-per-views? Now, is every pay-per-view going to be two nights? I don't know why we need every pay-per-view to be 2 nights. That may be a little overkill. Like, what is their flagship show? What do you want to be their flagship show? That, if you want to make that 2 nights, that's fine. But Revolution 2 nights, Double or Nothing 2 nights, All Out 2 nights, Full Gear 2 nights? No. No. Forbidden Door 2 nights? No. Come on. Now that'll get old pretty quickly, man. You're gonna defeat the purpose. You're gonna actually lessen the value of these shows. $248 Radio ZJ with a new membership. 248 Radio, thank you, brother. What are you drinking tonight, man? Joseph Taylor with a $2 super chat. Zach Morris is better than Jesse. I agree. He's better looking than Jesse, too. Joseph Taylor with a $2 super chat. Your Braves won. Barely. Daniel Rodriguez with a $4.99 super chat. Do you see Carmelo Hayes bringing Trick Williams to the main roster as Trick helps Mellows act as a sidekick? No. I actually do not like Trick Williams as Mello's sidekick. I don't. I haven't liked Trick Williams since the first day I laid eyes on him. Carmelo is the money. He's the money guy. and he needs to be on the main roster by himself. We do not need Trick Williams on the main roster. He is not anywhere close to being ready. Furious Nation with a $20 super chat. What's up, JD? I just want to say that I'm happy Cross, Dakota, and Io and Loomis are back in WWE over this past week. Johnny Gargano, Candice LeRae, John Morrison, Bray Wyatt, and Tegan Nox, I can see going back as well, in my opinion. Johnny Gargano and Candice will definitely be back. I could see John Morrison coming back. Bray Wyatt, I do believe is coming back. Tegan Nox, I could see slowly but surely, man. Triple H needs to have a time and a place for all of these returns. But I did hear Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman may be a name out there as well that is being discussed. I hope not. We don't need Braun Strowman on the main roster. And Alex Ali with a $5 super chat. Hi, JD. Would you ever consider playing WWE 2K22 My GM mode and book the shows the way you think they should be with match star ratings and ratings? No. I find 2K to be incredibly boring. Plus, everything is a fucking copyright strike. No matter, I have to play the game in creator mode, just to limit the fucking theme music being filtered into the stream. What good is playing a wrestling game if you can't fucking listen to the theme music? WWE wants the money grab at everything, bro. Not really fun for me. Daniel Rodriguez with a $1.99 super chat. Morrison and Ty versus Miz and Maurice at Mania. Bro, are we bringing everybody back? Are we just going to unfire everybody? Let's unfire everybody. Let's bring back who's going to help the shows, man. Morrison and Ty are not going to help the shows or remedy the shows. Guys, I appreciate hanging out with me on Tuesday night, man. I know this shit sucks. I know this shit sucks. Listen, man, I'm not even excited to even sit here. I'm not. But I appreciate you hanging out with me, man. Hit that thumbs up. 750 likes is the goal. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you for the new memberships. And make sure you guys go check out today's extra and all the other content that you might have missed in the last couple of days. Everything is on the homepage. And go check out BlueChew.com. Code JD at checkout. Guys, I'll be live tomorrow night. Quake by the Lake. I'm Feeling Punk or Omega is back tomorrow night. I'll be live with Jesse. And we'll be in the beer garden, and we'll be rocking and rolling as always for AEW Dynamite, guys. Thank you so much. I'll see you live tomorrow night for AEW right here on Off the Script. I'll see you guys later.